What doesn't get measured does not improve, and that is true for your finances, especially true for your health. So if you're waiting to go to the doctor so he can give you your BMI score, you're doing things totally wrong. The BMI formula was actually developed in 1833 by a Belgian mathematician, strictly for white men. Who would have thought? The BMI formula doesn't take into consideration ethnicity, gender, muscle mass, bone density, and water. So why are we still using such an old formula from 200 years ago? In mid-20th century, actuaries started using it to assess health risk for life insurance policies. It wasn't even a physician. It wasn't the health system. So why are we using it? It's totally backwards. So if we're trying to measure how healthy you are based off this 200-year formula, we're doing things completely wrong. What should you be doing? For example, let's get started with the Dexa scan. A Dexa scan is the most accurate technology to measure your true body composition. Now, I know you've probably been to the gym and you use a BIA, which is a bioelectrical impedance, little machines that you hold in your hands, highly inaccurate. We're talking about 15 to 20% margin of error. Because the Dexa scan is a low-level X-ray unit, we're actually measuring how dense your bones are, so how strong these bones are and how much of this bone mass you have on the body. We're measuring lean mass per extremity. We're measuring fat, subcutaneous fat, the fat that we can see, and how much you have of that with a 1% margin of error. And the most important number is your visceral fat, visceral adipose tissue. Now, adipose is just a fancy word for fat, but VAT is measuring the fat that's inside your abdominal cavity, the fat that we have in our organs and our intestines, and that is very, very important. If our VAT score is higher than 100, you're high risk. And trust me, we've seen football players, Olympians, super healthy people with a really high score. So using the Dexa scan can allow us to prevent any issues, any comorbidities you may have. And let me tell you something, there's nothing better than getting accurate information. Now, something else that I recommend for you to use is a resting metabolic rate system. So the RMR allows us to figure out how much calories you burn at rest, how much calories you burn during your daily activities, and how much calories your body needs during your physical activities. This is very important because let me tell you something, 9 out of 10 people are under eating, and that is why you are not gaining the muscle that you want to gain or losing the fat that you want to lose. Right, Maddie?
Exactly. 9 out of 10 people that walk through this door are under eating. What happens when we undereat? Our body's main source of fuel is glycogen, which is just a fancy word for sugar. When we undereat, our body has to pull that energy from the muscles, and we lose muscle mass. When we lose muscle mass, our metabolism slows down, causing us to gain fat. We gain fat because the metabolism slows down so much that even though we're following a balanced and healthy diet, we may still be overeating. It's really a double-edged sword. Eat too little, slow down your metabolism, gain fat. Eat too much, gain fat. This is why the RMR is the perfect test to tell you exactly how much you should be eating. Another test you should be getting is the VO2 Max test.
And what is a VO2 Max test? Well, if you go back to the In the Club video with 50 Cent, you'll see him running in a sports science lab with the mask on, connected to a machine. That's a VO2 Max test. What are we measuring? Your pulmonary and cardiovascular efficiency. In layman's terms, how healthy your heart is, how healthy your lungs are. Right, Eric?
Yep, that's right. Now, for our VO2 testing, what we do is we actually measure not just your VO2 max, but we're measuring how well can you use oxygen to produce energy. That means we're looking at heart health, we're looking at lung health, we're looking at circulatory health, we're looking at how efficient your body could actually take all that and allow you to run without stopping. So regardless of whether you're trying to lose weight or be a faster runner or do a longer marathon like ultra marathons, this is how we measure the best way to get you there. So during the test, we're actually looking at how your body shifts from fats to carbohydrates solely on carbohydrates. That's what we could actually tell you that, okay, this is the heart rate you're gonna need to get the most bang for your buck. And what I mean by bang for your buck means your heart's gonna get bigger, your heart's gonna be able to take in more blood, shoot out more blood, use it more efficiently, your blood pressure will drop a little bit. That way you feel like doing a little bit of effort now on a daily basis is nothing to you. That is the purpose behind the VO2 Max. And if you're trying to lose weight, We're gonna give you the best points for your heart to burn the most calories without you overdoing it. Since the worst thing you can do is overtrain and train and train and train, or undertrain and not get enough stimuli to actually improve your health. That's why we use the VO2. It's so important for you to get better. Now, aside from that, you gotta take a look at your biomechanics and your kinematics. That's why, moving now, we're gonna go see the Dari.
And what the heck are biomechanics, kinematics, and what is the Dari? Kinematics are the study of how objects move within motion. Biomechanics are the studies of how biological things move. Now, why is that important? Well, that's important because we want to measure your musculoskeletal system and your quality of movement, how well you perform through movement, and how much power you perform, how well you absorb these energies. And how do you measure that? There's nothing better to measure these two things than the Dari. So right above me, you have 8 cameras. And what these cameras do is they collect over 100,000 biomarkers on how well your joints are moving, how much power you produce, your quality of movement, and how much energy you're able to absorb. Why is this important? If you want to be active, you want to be active and pain-free. Am I right? You also want to be active and avoid injury. Now, what you can do with this data is figure out a program that best fits you to work on your strengths, to work on your weaknesses, and to keep you healthy. Like I said before, what does not get measured does not improve. And it goes with your body composition, your caloric intake, how much energy your body needs, how healthy your heart is, and how healthy your joints are. When you gather this data, you can come up with better training programs, better nutritional programs, and stop guessing at the end of the day, right? Your health is as important, if not more important, than your finances. Because if you're not healthy, you really can't enjoy those finances. And when you collect this data, you want to make sure you're collecting data with the 1% margin of error. All research grade, because the last thing you want to do is guess. You should not be guessing your finances, you should not be guessing your health. For example, if you don't do an RMR on yourself, then when you go see another physician or another health professional, or they want to tell you how much you should be eating, you're going to be guessing. There's 2 great formulas that we use to guesstimate how much you should be eating. But guess what? The best formula has a margin of error of 10%, and the other one has a margin of error of up to 22%. That can throw off exactly how much you need to be eating for the day. Therefore, you're probably going to be gaining weight. You're probably not going to be eating enough. Our goal here is to teach you why data is important. Data is important so you can improve your health in order to amplify your life.